We have so much of controversy on Hindi imposition, Hindi imposition. Are you not able to look at how English is being imposed in our country? Can you become a Supreme Court judge without English? Can you become a High Court judge without English? You can become a district judge. Why? Local languages, you be there. English, you should come here. You've got Supreme Court judges proudly stating that, if you don't know proper English, don't come to my court. Is it the court of India or is it the court of some foreign country? Government which is telling, if you know only Telugu, we will demean you, we will insult you. You cannot go beyond intermediate, you cannot go beyond degree, you cannot do engineering, you cannot do medicine. So let's say somebody is given birth to a child, he goes to the hospital. Which language is the medical prescription in? English. Have you ever seen our laborers, our humble people of our nation going there and struggling to find out which medicine the doctor has prescribed? I can't buy medicine if I can't pay my electricity bill, I can't pay my water bill, I can't pay my telephone bill, I can't read what my money is there in the bank or how much I've withdrawn in my native language. Why the hell should I read my native language? Only 10% of the people, statistics say, are able to speak English in our country. 90% don't. What is the position and situation of this 90%? Good afternoon, everyone. I'll try and keep it focused on one single point. That is, the education in vernacular or the education in our mother tongue. And that had become a very controversial subject when NEP was announced. Still continues to arise a lot of controversies. Now, amongst a lot of good things that NEP has done, there are also several loopholes and gaps in NEP. And I think, in my personal opinion, none bigger than education in mother tongue. I make a very strong statement here. The disaster here is of such epic proportions that the entire government and the panel has got the past, present and future, everything wrong as far as language policy is concerned in the national education policy. Now, why do I say that? Let me just elaborate on that. Why do I say they got the past wrong? Let me give one simple example. Which country do you think was the first country where English literature was taught as a subject? Any guesses from anyone here? India. English literature as a subject being taught in India while the Britishers themselves were learning Greek and Latin. Dr. Chelmai Reddy is here. You can check with her. Shri Aurobindo, he had his entire education in England. He was a great scholar of Latin. And his fame in England was because of his powers of Latin. So much so that I was surprised to know when he came to India and he was talking to his Nanaji in Bengali, he needed help of a translator. I was like, boss, what's happening? So we somehow seem to be oblivious of this fact of, English being imposed upon us. And I won't get into the details of Macaulay and all that he did in the interest of time. But let us come to the more important aspect of the present aspect and why I say that we've got our present entirely wrong. A lot of time we get this opinion that, theek hai boss, past mein hua to hoga, but in now present age we need English. Without English there is no progress. Without English we can't do anything. A lot of people believe that. I would have taken a show of hands here, but I'm letting that be in the interest of time. But let's revisit this statement and let's try and look at how correct that is. We all might believe it to be true, but is it actually true? Which is a country today which is going, giving you the latest tech and technology and science and development research papers?
Israel.
China, Israel.
Yes.
Is China studying in English? Is Israel studying in English? Prior to this, which were the countries which were doing it? Japan. Was Japan doing it in English? No. You look at the list of the top 20 countries as per their GDP, only 4 do it in English. How did they get there without English? You look at the list of bottom 20 countries, they're all 18 are in English. So how is English bringing in prosperity? Please look at it. So let's understand it very clearly that English is not required for your progress and prosperity. The world shows it to us very clearly. But let's look at it in the context of India. How about India? Is it required for India? If it's not required for the world, why is it required for India?
Because we have multiple languages. We don't have an
No, it's not because of that. European Union also has multiple languages, but it is this position because the government is making it so. You might be surprised by that statement. But I am making this statement very consciously and with all facts at my disposal. That is the government which is insulting all our vernacular and native languages at the cost of English, and it's the government which is promoting English. Let me elaborate this with further examples. Let's look at it very simply in terms of three things. What are the educational qualifications or the educational courses you can do in your vernacular languages vis-a-vis English? What are the jobs one can, or the professions that one can get to with vernacular languages, our native languages, and with English? And third, what are the kind of activities we can do in our daily life? So tell me, what's the highest education qualification anybody can get in a Telugu medium or a Tamil medium? Can you become an engineer? Can you become a doctor? Can you get into the army? Can you become a commissioned officer if you don't know English? Do you need English to fight for your nation? Has India survived for 5,000 years without, knowing how to fight for itself? Where is English important? It is the government which is telling, if you know only Telugu, we will demean you, we will insult you. You cannot go beyond intermediate, you cannot go beyond degree, you cannot do engineering, you cannot do medicine. So what is it? Is it not the government which is making this policy? Let's look at the professions or the jobs that we can get into. Can you become a Supreme Court judge without English? Can you become a High Court judge without English? You can become a district judge. Why? Local languages, you be there. English, you should come here. You've got Supreme Court judges proudly stating that, if you don't know proper English, don't come to my court. Is it the court of India or is it the court of some foreign country? Can you become an IAS officer? Can you become an IPS officer? You cannot. What professions do you need? What professions can you get into without English? Why is it so? Because the government is making it so. The government doesn't realize what it's doing. Or perhaps it still realizes, and I don't know which world they're living in. Let's leave the professions aside. Let's look at the basic activities that we do every day. Let's say somebody is given birth to a child. He goes to the hospital. Which language is the medical prescription in? English. Have you ever seen our laborers, our humble people of our nation going there and struggling to find out which medicine the doctor has prescribed? Go to a pharmacist, he'll tell you, take this yellow tablet in the morning, take this red tablet in the evening, and they're all confused. My driver once, he came with a prescription, Saab, dekho doctor kya likha, malum nahi. I said, what is there? It was written, come back after a week.
Oh my God.
He's surprised. Modi government got everybody to open bank accounts. I have laborers in my factory. I got salary accounts open for everyone. The moment I got one open, my manager came running to me. Saab, dekho kya hua? Alare, what happened? Why are you afraid? He showed me a message. Saab, bank se kuch aaya hai. Bola, kya aaya hai? The message said, welcome Mr. Ranjit to Bank of India. Look at the position that we are putting the people of our country in. A simple language, simple bank message is freaking the hell out of that person. So I can't take medicines if I don't know English. I can't read my electricity bill if I don't know English. Your electricity bills are in English. Your telephone bills are in English. Your bank statements are in English. If I can't buy medicine, if I can't pay my electricity bill, I can't pay my water bill, I can't pay my telephone bill, I can't read what my money is there in the bank or how much I've withdrawn in my native language, why the hell should I read my native language? I will read it in English. That is why they're teaching English. But who is making the situation so drastic? It is the government. We have so much of controversy on Hindi imposition, Hindi imposition. Are you not able to look at how English is being imposed in our country? Only 10% of the people, statistics say, are able to speak English in our country. 90% don't. What is the position and situation of this 90%? Unfortunately, it is this 10% which can speak English who make 100% of all those who make the policies of our country, and which is the biggest drawback for our country. So, if your past you've got it wrong, if your present you've got it wrong this way, where 90% of the people are struggling, how can your future be bright? And because of this English imposition, we are landing in a position where, people are proficient neither in English nor in their own mother tongue.
Yes, that's true.
How will be his mental state? He'll be living with this inferiority for his life that maybe I am not good enough or maybe I'm good for nothing. How will the nation progress if the 90% of the population is living in this position? I'll end my address with that, and that's where I have a problem with our language policy and vernacular policy.